Hello and welcome to Performance Mouthwear, an amazing new patient funnel which will help skyrocket your profitability and the fun you have in your practice. Hi, this is Dr. Phil Knall, and I'm going to be your host presenter this evening. And I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. I know we've always got a lot of things we have to get done, but it's my sincere hope that in about 30 minutes or so, you're thanking yourself for coming because you've gotten so much value out of our program. Because what we're going to do is show you how this little piece of plastic that we call a mouth guard that previously just protected teeth now does far, far more than that. In fact, in my seminars, I frequently compare mouthwear to car phones. Think back 20 years ago when we had car phones. They were about the size of a small suitcase. The only place we used them was in our car. But they made phone calls, so they were the must-have technology. Now today we've got smartphones which do make phone calls but also do email, texting, navigation, music, banking, video, etc. Far, far more than that. So as we begin here, why don't you turn off your smartphone, whether you're home or at the office, shut your door and get ready because we're going to share lots of great tips with you here on our program. We're going to have 4 points in our discussion. We're going to talk the history of mouthwear. Going to speak to technology. I know there's some of you that are probably thinking, how does this piece of plastic make someone perform better athletically? I'm going to do my best to explain that to you. Going to talk the benefits. And there are some for both you and your practice. And let me say this, they are significant. And you'll be excited when you hear those. We're also going to share some testimonials from people, athletes, and dentists about what they have found with the product. So I want you to realize this as we begin. This concept of making something in the mouth help us out performance-wise is not a new concept. Pioneer women back in the day were given a stick to bite on during childbirth. During the Civil War, soldiers were given a lead bullet to bite on during surgery. We didn't have anesthesia. Even the Greeks and Romans in their day would bite on leather straps during battle because it made them feel stronger. This is a picture of Usain Bolt, world's fastest human. I want you to look at the close-up of his mouth here, and you can see that he's biting on something. He was asked by a reporter afterwards what he was biting on. He said this gold medallion, and they asked him why. He said because when he did, it made him more relaxed. Now, Usain's not a doctor, not a scientist, but he was right on, as you're going to see through our program here. History of mouth guards, first used in the 20th century for bruxism. By the 20s, mouth guards were mandated for boxing, and realized that boxing back in this day was the NFL, the most popular sport we had. 42 years later, mouth guards are mandated for high school football. And by the 80s, we started seeing performance mouthwear that did more than just protect teeth. Now, the National High School Federation, which is the ADA of high school, mandates mouthpieces for 4 sports. And yet the ADA recommends mouthpiece use for 30 sports. So you can see we got a big gap here in our education of the public that we need to perform. The history of performance mouthwear. Back in the 70s, a dentist named Smith in Philadelphia made mouthpieces that brought the mandible down and forward for the Philadelphia Eagles. And he tested those versus mouthpieces that did not do that and did not bring the mandible down and forward. And found that those that brought the mandible forward tested out stronger from a grip standpoint. By the 80s, a dentist named Kaufman made performance mouthwear for the U.S. luge team and bobsled team. Bobsledders said they felt stronger. The luge riders said their headaches seemed to go away. But this athletic improvement was passed off as anecdotal. These weren't true studies. They were not double blinds. And so the higher-ups really did not believe it. So where are we now? Let me share some nomenclature with you here to make sure we're on the same page. The far right picture, you see a mouth guard. This is worn over top the upper teeth, upper arch, and protects teeth and gums. Probably very similar to what you've made in the past. On the left hand, it's worn by someone playing a contact sport. Football, lacrosse, hockey, because they need protection as well as the enhanced performance. The left-hand side, this is a mouthpiece. It's worn over top the lower. It's worn by someone playing a non-contact sport, a golfer, a cyclist, a weightlifter, a soccer player. They're not worried about protection. They just want the enhanced performance because both the mouthpiece and the mouth guard have been proven to increase strength and endurance, speed up reaction time, and reduce athletic stress. So in trying to help explain how this thing works, I'm going to talk about two entities. I'm going to talk about cortisol and the reverse wedge. Now, cortisol is a steroid hormone produced by the adrenal. It's released in response to stress and controlled by the hypothalamus. In fact, Time magazine a couple years ago, the cover story was cortisol, the stress hormone. Because they reported that excess cortisol can cause things like hypertension, chronic fatigue, sleep deprivation, migraines, tunnel vision, acid reflux, hostility, arthritis, decreased immune and metabolism systems. It's nasty stuff. You don't want it. But when we clench our jaw under stress, this stimulates the body to secrete more cortisol. The real breakthrough came in 2004 by a study by Horry, who found that non-functional biting could suppress the stress-induced activation of cortisol. What they did, they had some mice. Some of the mice, they gave something to bite on. They gave a stick. Others, they did not. They introduced stress to both categories of mice. Those with the sticks to bite on had less cortisol in their bodies than those that did not have the stick. So this suggested a possible anti-stress effect of biting, and that oral appliances could be helpful in controlling cortisol in humans and thereby improve athletic performance. The reverse wedge, this is the little yellow pad you see here. You may think this is just a little cosmetic piece, but it's really not. It has a functionality as well. Reverse wedge was invented by a dentist named Belvedere, who he himself had severe temporomandibular disorder. Over the years, made several appliances to alleviate his pain, and the knowledge he gained from wearing these appliances led to the creation of the reverse wedge, which separates the molars and to a lesser degree the premolars and brings the head of the condyle out of the fossa. So picture this. Person wearing a mouthpiece with the reverse wedge in it. When they close, the molars hit first. Then the mandible rotates slightly to bring the bicuspids into occlusion, and this drops the head of the condyle a little bit out of the fossa. Here's another little video that's going to help explain that probably better than I could.
Whether you're training or playing, you're putting your body under stress, causing your jaws to clench. The clenching puts pressure on your TM joints, signaling the brain to release a stress hormone called cortisol. Excess levels of cortisol increase fatigue, decrease metabolism, and reduce muscle building.
Under Armour Performance-Enhancing Mouthwear helps reposition the jaw while protecting your teeth. The device draws the jaw down and forward, relieving the pressure on the jaw joint and short-circuiting the excessive release of cortisol. The jaw position also helps increase airflow. More oxygen helps inhibit the buildup of lactic acid in muscles.
So the Performance Mouthwear puts a space between the teeth. This relieves the pressure on the TMJ, thereby minimizing cortisol production. So under stress or strain, like in athletics or practicing dentistry, doctor, or day-to-day life, people clench their teeth. This clenching pressure triggers the release of cortisol. The Performance Mouthwear reduces the release of cortisol by lessening the pressure on the TMJ. Therefore, users are calmer, more relaxed, and more focused. The Performance Mouthwear also opens the airway wider to aid in the oxygen exchange, thus reducing lactic acid and improving endurance. Look at this CAT scan here. Look at the picture bottom left. CAT scan of the airway shows it being 26 millimeters across. Putting the mouthpiece in, the airway immediately opens to 31 millimeters. Look at the right-hand picture, the lateral view. Bottom picture shows no mouthpiece, 10.5 millimeters across. Putting the mouthpiece in opens up the airway to 14.1 millimeters. So the mouthwear enlarges the airway, which helps reduce lactic acid. So now this product has over 15 years of research on it, conducted at universities like Minnesota, Johns Hopkins, the Citadel, Tennessee. And they found that the scientifically proven benefits are increased strength, increased endurance, faster reaction time, increased oxygen intake, and decreased lactic acid and decreased cortisol. So if you want more research, there's a couple places I can send you. One is Compendium, had an article about 2-3 years ago. And there's, I believe, 3 double-blind studies in here talking about the product. Even JADA, our own journal, did a study on the effects of mouthpiece use on gas exchange parameters. In their overview, the objective was to determine how wearing the mouthpiece affected gas exchange. And what they found was that wearer of the Armorbyte mouthpiece experienced improvements in their oxygen and carbon dioxide exchanges. The subjects with the mouthpiece took in 29% more oxygen while expelling 21% more carbon dioxide than the subjects not wearing the mouthpiece. So guys, this is our own journal talking about the benefits of this product. So what's this mean for you and your practice? Well, I think it gives you confidence, knowing that the research is there. It's been proven for 15 years or more now. There's also excitement around this. You've got a great new service to offer your patients. And the benefits, there is a fantastic marketing potential with this product, which we're going to get into here in a little bit. So what are the benefits of being a performance mouthwear provider? Well, bottom line, your patients get better, both athletically and beyond. Again, research has shown increased strength, increased endurance, faster reaction time. But I want you to realize one thing. This product is not made for the elite athlete only. It's for every athlete, every Joe, every Jane that wants to do their little thing better. For example, skiing-wise, it's for Susie Skier, the girl that goes skiing twice a year. She's going to wear her mouthpiece when she's working out to get in shape to go skiing. She's going to be able to work out harder and longer, which makes her stronger. Therefore, she can make that extra run or two when she does have her time to go skiing. So patients get better both athletically and beyond. And again, remember that it's not just for the elite athlete. Beyond athletics is a fantastic bruxism device. It's so comfortable, it's wearable in public, it's easy to speak with. Also, you've got the increased oxygen intake. Who do you know needs more oxygen? How about your sleep apnea people? How about your asthmatic people? Personally, you're going to have your own personal experiences to talk about also. For me, my snoring's been eliminated. Also, I've got improved endurance and wind. When I got on the treadmill before, at about 25 minutes, I was sucking for every bit of air I could find. Now, with the mouthpiece, I still suck for air, but it goes at about 33 to 34 minutes, not 25. Also, I ride a Harley. And so picture this. This is one I never would have thought of. You're riding your Harley down the road, the wind's hitting you in the face. If you don't muscularly position your mandible, it's going to flap in the air like a flag. So when you get to your destination an hour or two later, your muscles are sore. They're tired. They've been contracting for the last hour and a half. By wearing the mouthpiece, I close into the mouthpiece, my mandible's in a rest position, and it's far, far more comfortable. I won't ride my Harley without my mouthpiece. But the biggest benefit of all, this is a fantastic new patient catalyst. And new patients are the key for any practice. You've got to have them. But I'm going to share just some of the little thoughts around what you can do to marketing-wise with this product. I'm going to speak about personal trainers here for a second. Now realize who personal trainers are. They're the exercise fitness guru to about 20 to 30 clients. That's about what each trainer has as their client base. So make an appliance for the trainer, for a trainer. Do it at reduced fee, do it at cost. I don't care, it doesn't matter. So what happens is that trainer gets that mouthpiece, they're going to wear it, they're going to feel the difference. They're going to feel stronger, they're going to feel more endurance because they're really in tune with their bodies. So this trainer has this mouthpiece that has enhanced their performance. Do you think they're not going to tell every one of their clients to get one? Of course they are. That's their job, is to get their clients in the best shape possible. So here's 20 to 30 referrals coming in for a mouthpiece for you. And each trainer knows 5 to 10 other trainers. You could have 50, 100 referrals in no time with this. And these are coming from a very valuable source. They're coming as a referral from the person that this person believes in. It's remarkable how easy this is. You can do a website link exchange. That would look like this. On your website, you've got a link exchange to a local fitness center. And on the local fitness center's website, there's going to be a link to you. Now, I wouldn't put Dr. Knall or Dr. Phil. I would put something like increased strength 20%. So picture this. Here's a guy in Abilene, Texas. They want to get in better shape. So they're cruising the web looking for a workout facility near them. They come across ABC Fitness. On there, they see a link that says increase strength 20%. How many are not going to click it? None. They're all going to click it. That's what they're looking for. So they click the button for increased strength 20%. That's going to go to a website of yours with your webpage there about the Mouthwear. Local sporting events like marathons and 10Ks. There's training clubs around these. Groups of people that are going to be, for example, in a marathon. And they're going to train together so they can keep pushing each other a little harder, a little further. Had a dentist in Minnesota who was going to be in a biathlon. He had 10 other people going to be in the biathlon. He made them all a mouthpiece and said in 2 months, I either want $200 or I want you to give me the mouthpiece back. He only got one back. Performance Mouthwear press release. I had a dentist in Iowa call me and said, I cheated. I said, what did you do? He said, I saw an article on Performance Mouthwear and I kind of changed the entry and I changed the end. I put my name on it and my little local community paper published it. I said, so what's happened so far? He said, I've gotten 5 new clients off of it. These little local papers love stories about a product like this. Affiliate marketing, the wave of this era. You're going to find affiliates with opted-in databases. They email their database regarding an amazing product they've come across, the Mouthwear, and their database opts in for you to contact them with more information. You could do a team fitting night at your local junior high or high school. You could do it right in your office. You could do a lacrosse night, a soccer night, a Hoosier High night if that's the high school that's near you there. But the real key here is this. I don't want to do mouth guards all day long. I want to do dentistry. And I want to do the kind of dentistry that I want to do. Well, if I've got enough new patients, I can do that. And if research shows that if you've got your act together, meaning you got a nice, clean, modernized office, your staff is very friendly, you're going to keep 30% of these people as patients in your practice. So of all these people that come across your threshold here, 30% are going to stay as full-time dental patients of yours. So heretofore, I've been talking about the custom mouthwear primarily. One that you go to the dentist and they take the impressions and the mouthpiece is made by the laboratory. But custom fitted mouthwear is not for everyone. Could be a cost issue. They could be too young. They just want some temporary protection. So I'm going to introduce here the Boil and Bite Performance Mouthwear, which enables you to provide mouthwear to everyone. It comes in both a mouth guard and a mouthpiece, and comes with the same performance technology as the custom one does. The differences are it's bulkier, it's softer, not quite the same retention. Your serious athletes are still going to want the custom fitted mouthpiece. But here's some new patient catalyst ways of using the Boil and Bite. Let's talk about youth teams real quick here. Let's say it's a youth soccer team. There's typically about 25 players on the team. And let's say you write a letter to the team mom who gives it to the parents of the athletes. It says something like this. Our dental office is concerned with protecting the teeth and gums of our young athletes. I can make it available to you you could change it here to however you wanted it, at no fee, at a low fee. So let's say you want to make available the mouthpieces at no fee to the young athletes. Just call our office for a time to come in and have junior fitted. So the 25 players are on the team. Let's say 20 take up on the offer. So here's 20 moms coming to your office. Again, if figures hold true, 30% will become full-time patients. So 7 become patients. There's 4 typically in a family. That's 28 new patients. And consultants will put a $2,500 annual expenses on the family coming into your practice. So 7 families at $2,500. That's $17,500 of new revenue. And what's your investment in this? Maybe $200. You got $17,500 there. And U.S. soccer right now is outlawed headers for under 13-year-olds. They know the kids need the protection orally. They're playing right up our alley for us. I want you to really grasp this youth team potential. It is significant. So the Bullet Bite is also going to be sold at some of the major sporting goods like Dick's and Sports Authority. But realize this, when they go to Dick's and buy it there, they got to bring it home and self-fit it, meaning they've got to boil it, they've got to try and fit it, they've got to make the retention right. And it's not an easy thing to do. If you've not done it yourself, you ought to try it. It's not that easy thing. Whereas they buy it from you, they're going to come in and have one of your professional staff members boil it and fit it for them. And she's got the experience of doing it in the past. Also at Dick's, their pricing is fixed. Your pricing is flexible, doctor. You can charge anything you want. You can do a promotion where it's free. You can do a promotion where it's $50. It's totally up to you. And when they go to Dick's, they're going to look at this wall of mouthpieces and they're going to try and pick one because they have limited to no expertise. Whereas they buy it from you, they're going to get the right size, the right style, and the right type of mouthpiece for their particular sport. So there's some significant advantages to getting it from you, doctor. Another benefit of being a provider. This is an entirely new conversation. It's new and exciting. You're going to find many social opportunities to bring performance mouthwear in the conversation. And once you start talking about it, you'll be deluged with questions. People won't talk about a dental dilemma, but they will talk about their golf game, the 10K coming up, or their training. People love talking about this product. It's an energizing thing when you really see it. Another benefit, there is a significant enhanced image along with this. People want to think that their doctor has the latest and greatest, the latest technology, the latest things going they have. And this knowledge you have about performance mouthwear now separates you from the pack because not everyone has this knowledge. You become cool. Moms love you for your caring. And the case presentation battle is half won. For example, let's say mom brings her little son or daughter in. Let's say it's a few months later, mom becomes a patient. Mom has some dental problems. You do a case presentation with mom. The battle's half won because mom already loves you. She thinks you're great for what you did for her little son or daughter. She thinks you're not just after the money because you've already done this great thing for the team. This is a significant advantage you have in doing this. Testimonials. The guy right in the middle came in with a broken tooth. As I was looking at his medical history, said he was from Seattle. And so I asked him, I said, oh, you still live in Seattle? He said, yeah. I said, why are you here? He goes, well, for spring training, baseball. I said, oh, so are you a Seattle Mariners fan? He started laughing. He said, well, I think so. I'm their shortstop. So I gave him this little study, the effects of Armor Bite mouthpiece on baseball pitching velocity, which shows this. The use of mouthpiece elicited an average of 2 miles per hour increase in pitching velocity among all subjects. This study suggested that use of a mouthpiece, the Armor Bite mouthpiece, may be used to directly increase pitching velocity for amateurs and professional baseball players. He read this, he said, I want one. So I made him a Bullet Bite right there. And he said the two guys out in the waiting room are both pitchers for the Mariners, so let's see if they want one. So I ended up making mouthpieces that morning for all three. I made them for the Arizona Diamondbacks as well. And once you look at these guys' faces here, look at the tension in their faces. You can see the masseter kind of like bulging out of their mouth or bulging out of their cheeks. That's why this is so significant for baseball. And I have found at this point we have done 8 different Major League Baseball teams, and baseball players love the product. Dennis in Cincinnati sent me this. He said he was watching a game last night. This guy got a double, and they showed him standing on second base, and he's taking his mouthpiece and playing with it here. But again, I want you to realize this is not just for the elite athlete. It's for the everyday Joe, everyday Jane. I talked about my snoring, like the bottom picture here. Look at the yoga Pilates lady on the left. I know 2 things about yoga Pilates. It's hard as heck, and it's all about holding your poses and breathing deep. Well, we've got the mouthpiece here, which will make you stronger, so you can hold your poses longer. It also opens the airway so you can breathe deeper. It's an absolute perfect fit for yoga Pilates. Look at the pilot, top right side. He was a patient. He wanted a mouthpiece at first because he's a weightlifter. So we made him one with the purpose of wearing it, when he lifts his weights. Came in a few months later, he said he found that on his long flights over the ocean, He wears a mouthpiece because it feels much more relaxed when it's in there. Guy right below him, video game guy. I walked in the operatory. There's a 17-year-old kid there. I looked at him. I said, "It looks like you've been up all night." He goes, "I have been." I said, "Doing what?" He goes, "Playing video games." I said, "You're up all night playing video games?" He goes, "Hey, there's a contest in town next week. First prize is $25,000. So, and what are one of the benefits of the product is it increases reaction time, both auditory and visual. That's all video games are. How fast do you react? Perfect for video guy. Top left corner, you may not be able to see exactly what it is, but it's a military guy taking aim with a rifle. I was flown to North Carolina a few months ago and was put in a room, and they brought in the elite U.S. military forces for me to make mouthpieces for them. And I asked the doctor that was there, "Why do you want these for these military people?" And he said they found that the sharpshooting scores went up with those who were wearing a mouthpiece. And he showed me this article from Psychosomatic Medicine magazine, where it talked about cortisol accounting for 31% of the military variance in performance during stress. Military gets it. So how do you get started? Well, in order to prescribe the custom mouthpiece, you've got to have purchased a launch kit from a registered supply house. Now, this launch kit is kind of like your business in a box. It's going to include mouth guard and mouthpiece samples, your customer brochures, your prescription forms, and also a free product coupon. Meaning your first one is on the house. And doctor, do me a favor and you make it for yourself. Don't do it for a team member or for a staff person or for a patient. You make the mouthpiece for yourself. So this is a launch kit. You're going to have to email me for the exact fee on this because it's kind of being reset right at this moment. So you'll get my email address here in a bit. So at the end, you can email me and I'll be happy to contact you about that. So here's some questions I typically get. What's a typical fee? Well, one I hear about is typically $300 to $400 for the custom mouthpiece. And for the boil and bite, it's either free to about $25. And again, the nice thing is, doc, you can just set whatever fee you want. What type of impression do you use for the custom? Well, the lab prefers the impression as opposed to a model, so it must be a stable product. I personally use Alginate, and I'm going to talk more about that in a minute here. I think that's a great product for this, but it needs to be a stable impression material, one that can sit obviously for the days of being shipped. So what's needed for the custom mouthpiece? You need an upper and lower impression, full arch, and a central occlusion bite. What lab do I use for the custom? The Bitech lab in Florida is the only lab that can make the product, and in your launch kit you get your prescription slips with that and even boxes to mail your product, mail your cases back to the laboratory. What is the lab fee? It fluctuates a little bit, but it's about $115, so that's why I put 115-ish. It may vary by a few dollars either way of that. So these are some of the questions I've tried to answer for you that I typically get. So how do you introduce it to your patients? Well, for example, you're updating the medical history. You can ask things like, "Hey Mary, any new hobbies or activities?" I frequently hear things like this. "Well, I started walking, trying to lose some weight." "Well, how's that going?" "Well, gosh, are my calves sore?" "Well, Mary, we've got a product here in the office. It's a little product, little undetectable mouthpiece you wear when you're walking that will help alleviate that soreness in your calves, because what that is lactic acid buildup. And this product will decrease the amount of lactic acid in your body. All right, would you be interested in talking about that?" And Mary says, "Yes, I bring Susie, my go-to person, and she has the discussion with them." Another example, I'm seating a patient, or someone is seating the patient. They ask, "Mrs. Smith, isn't your son in Pop Warner or lacrosse or judo or something?" And they say yes. "Well, we would like to call the team mom and tell her about our program, because we've got this program for youth teams that's going to allow us to get them a mouthpiece to protect their teeth and gums." What mom's not going to say, "Great, let's do that"? So I want you to realize there's ways of starting this conversation to get it out there, because moms and dads love hearing about this stuff. Again, that you get a yes answer, I call my go-to person, who's the person in the office who does most of our talks around the performance mouthwear. She's one that loves the product, has one, and loves spreading the word about it. I'll talk more about that in our training program here in a second. So a question for you right now, who in your practice, who's your hikers, your bikers, your golfers, your runners, your soccer moms, your bodybuilder, your trainers, your coaches, your yoga Pilates people, who plays tennis, basketball, softball? I can promise you, you've got dozens, if not hundreds. And doctor, if you don't know who they are, I promise you the team does. And every one of these people should have a mouthpiece. The nice thing is also when the product comes, it comes in this nice box, kind of like Apple product-wise, how their packaging is so nice. I remember before I used to make a mouth guard for somebody, I put it in a Glad bag. Well, now it comes in this very professional box, something you can be very proud of. So my question to you all is this. Do you want to keep using your 1980s car phone, or are you ready to play in the 21st century? If you want to guarantee your success, whether you do just bull and bites or the custom or both, here's your guide to hitting a home run. It's our amazing new product funnel module. And what you get with this new patient funnel is this. You're going to get outlines and scripts for all the strategies that I talked about. You're going to get the dialogue for the individual sports, the runners, the golfers. You're going to get a copy of the baseball study that I mentioned to you. You're going to get a PowerPoint presentation for an athletic director. You're going to get images for marketing and your website, strategies for staff involvement. You're going to get email support. We've even got private coaching available to work with you all one-on-one. This is a sample of one of the dialogue sheets. I'm not going to read the whole thing here, but I want you to realize there are some really key words in here. Meaning this is a runner named Jim, so I'm highlighting the entities that Jim as a runner would face, such as he wants more oxygen and he wants to cut lactic acid buildup. But you're going to get this for virtually every sport in our program here. And it comes in both hard copy and online, so you don't have to be online. You can actually sit there and read it and go over with your staff. Going to also include in here is how to do a fundraiser, my favorite program. In the example of an office in Minnesota, there was a staff member there who had a daughter who played soccer. And in the entire soccer organization, there was 1,400 members. And so we made an offer that sounded something like this. Our dental office is concerned with protecting the teeth and gums of our young athletes. That's why we like to make available the latest in Under Armour Performance Mouthwear. I'd like to make that available at a reduced fee of $20. And for every mouthpiece we make, we're going to kick in $10 back to the soccer organization. Well, they had 700 took up the offer. They were able to write a check to the soccer organization for $7,000. Do you realize how many bake sales that is? How many car washes that is? And they also had 700 potential new patients cross their threshold. Guys, this is a win-win-win. This is the kind of stuff you can do with this product that's absolutely just phenomenal. Included in the package is how to do a website link exchange with a fitness center, with a sporting goods stores, with a boutique sporting goods, with a cycle shop, how to do a Saturday table. I'm going to talk about personal trainers in depth. I'm going to talk about where you find them, how do you talk to them, what's the dialogue they want to hear. How to do a team fitting night right in your office, a lacrosse night, a soccer night, a Central High night, how to set it up and how to promote it. How to use affiliate marketing, which is really a biggie. So your affiliates have these opted-in databases, and they email their database about this amazing product they've come across, the Mouthwear, and their database emails you for you to contact them with more info. This is home run kind of stuff. How to do a performance mouthwear press release or an article in your community paper for a purchase database, for TV, for radio. How to do a youth team program. What teams you're going to concentrate on. What's going to be your sports calendar. You're going to have to set up your calendar because realize you don't start making football mouth guards in August. You start making them in June and July. Going to find out who the intro person to the team mom is because she's the one that's going to distribute your offer to all the different parents. Whether that's your own kids, doc. Well, how about your patients' kids? You can even go by their practice and do it right from the field. So new patients are the key for any business. That's why the focus has been around that here. the value of 100 new patients. I want to share that with you. So let's say you're able to get 100 new patients in days. Let's look at what that means to you. Well, consultants put a value of $1,500 for a new patient, and that would add up to additional revenue of $150,000. Ortho would be even higher. It would also allow you to be more selective about what dental procedures you decide to perform. You can stop doing the things you don't want to do because you've got enough patients there that you can do that. You have the luxury of hiring an associate or filling up the schedule of a current associate. The value of your practice will increase. So the question becomes not should I join, but how do I join? Well, you just watched an excerpt from our program we call the Dental Success Blueprint, which is your guide to more profitability and more fun in your dental practice. The Dental Success Blueprint includes 6 modules, which are little videos around a specific topic. And some of those topics are vision mapping your ideal practice, how to create your ideal practice, and we'll show you the pathway to get there for the ideal practice for you, the one that you want. How to get team buy-in. And the team has to not only be bought in, they've got to be enthusiastically bought in. And we'll show you how we did that in our practice. New patient attraction. Again, we'll show you ways of attracting dozens of new patients. And these are the kind of new patients that I want because they're active, healthy, outgoing people that want to look good and feel good. New patient processing. It's one thing to get the new patient in the door, but how do you get them to say yes? And we'll show you how to process those new patients. Case acceptance. If you increase your case acceptance, that's the quickest way that I know of to increase your revenue. And the hygiene spa, where we show you how we believe the hygiene department should be more like a health spa than like a dental practice. So there's 3 ways to join. One is purchase the Total Success Blueprint with coaching, where you get all the modules I just showed you a minute ago. You're also going to get some extra bonus modules, and you're going to get some one-on-one coaching with me. You're going to get 2 phone calls where we help you get on the right path for whatever it is that you're looking for. And unlimited email support. And the fee for that is $10.95. We've got an early bird special that if you purchase that program over the next 48 hours, we're going to include all the modules, plus we're going to give you a 3rd coaching call for the same fee, which is a bonus value of $150. You can also purchase the Total Success Blueprint without the coaching, where you get all the modules and the extra modules and the email support, but just no coaching, and the fee for that is $7.95. And you can also purchase the individual modules one at a time if you choose to do that. So one at a time, the modules are $2.95 each. So that's how you can join us, and I'm so confident you're going to have dozens of new patients flooding your office, and I'm offering you a full money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied with your results after 90 days, then you can look me in the eye on paper and say you tried at least 3 of the strategies I share with you. I'll refund every penny that you paid. Oftentimes I get asked about impressions. What kind do I take? What material do I use? Well, the Bitech lab sees some impressions that are pretty useless. And the old adage is very true here, that good impressions are the key. Garbage in leads to garbage out. This is some of the stuff that the Bitech laboratory sees. And for this application, you're going to need to have upper and lower impressions, a CO bite. It needs to be mailable because the lab prefers to get the impressions. They want to pour it up their way. You got your prescription filled out. Again, these come in the launch kit. You need to make sure you pick up the desired anatomy. And some of it's a little bit different than your typical crown and bridge type impression. You need to make sure you get the vestibules. You're going to get full labial and full lingual. Again, sometimes doing crown and bridge type stuff, we don't need that, but you will for this item here. I think Alginate by Kerr is the ideal material for this application. It's the proper amount of accuracy. It's very stable. In fact, I met with the Kerr scientists, and they said that the impression can sit on the tabletop for about 3 weeks and still be fine. And also, that goes beyond this product, because I don't know about your office, but we take alginates during the day, wrapped in a wet paper towel because we got a next patient to get to, And then at the end of the day, someone has to pour those up, and they're typically not very happy about doing it. Well, with this product, it can be stable and do it the next day or do it a week later whenever you want to because of the stability. The cost. This is about half the cost of a polyvinyl, but I think the most important benefit of all is the flow of this material. Guys, I have taken impressions everywhere. I've taken them in my office. I've taken them in parking lots. I've taken them in restaurants. I've taken them in locker rooms. I've taken them everywhere. And I have, using this material, I have never had someone gag. Never. And I think the reason is the flow of this material is so nice. When you actually seat it, you can see it flowing into the vestibules. And yet there's no drippage down the back, which causes the gagging, as you know. So the flow of this material is absolutely perfect. So we get the proper size and type of tray. I realize they got to be disposable because they're going to go to the laboratory and they're not going to send them back. So you get the proper type and size tray, select the proper impression material, and again, I would make sure I had a motorized mixer because you're going to need it. And using the proper technique, that leads to good results, whether it be a full arch or even a quadrant for a crown and bridge type case. So I want to thank you for your attention here for the evening. And again, feel free to email me with any question that you may have. I look forward to helping you with your success. Thanks.